Hey, greetings and welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be making a SQL table with Flask and SQlalchemy. Please like, share, and subscribe, and most importantly, reach out to me in the comment section for help, tips, and suggestions. Right? So let's get started. So with that, when it comes to data and big data, Python is one of the one programming language you really want to use. Right? Today I want to show you how with Flask and SQlalchemy you could go ahead and make a SQL database and ultimately a SQL table, right? So with that, what we want to go ahead and do is we want to go ahead and install our requirements, right? So I open up and then I use this command, right, to install my packages. And if I'm in Windows, I want to use this command. If I'm in Mac OS, I want to go ahead and use this command. And then while that, we're going to take a look at the requirements file. So basically here, Flask, right, is very, very opinionated. So all the third-party packages out there in Python, usually there's a Flask version. So before you actually try to install something like SQlalchemy, see if there's a Flask variant that will make integration much more simpler. Right, so with that, you could go ahead and run the application. And what it'll do is that it'll go ahead and create our table, and it will create our database. So I go here, right, I can see that my table is created and so forth. So with that, we're going to take a look at the code responsible. So here, I get my database by using the SQlalchemy class. And this is the function, this is the method responsible for creating the actual database, right? So without this engine execute, right, I'm just going to have a simple database. Well, here we could see that this is SQLite. But in SQLite, when you're using SQLite, your database is really a file. So this here is actually a file. Even though it seems like a database, it's actually a single file. When you're working with other databases, there might be a driver that gets involved, as well as a connection that you have to make, right, in order to interact with the database. But when you're using SQLite and you don't have a file, then there's really no connection that's needed, right? And that's shown with here. db.engine.connect, right? That's how you go ahead and create that connection, and then you work with it. Usually you want to use the with, right, because as connection, and then you want to go ahead and work with your connection that way. And I might as well leave it like that. Right, this is the preferred way, right, because this is an asynchronous operation. You don't want to try to execute anything without this completing, right? So with that, I've gone ahead. Now once I have my connection, I could go ahead and now create my table, right? I could run a single SQL statement. When it comes to multiple SQL statements, right, SQlalchemy is tricky. SQLite is a third-party resource where you can run multiple SQL statements with ease. But I think in the next video, I'm going to show how you can run multiple SQL statements with SQlalchemy, right? And then in addition, if anyone has any third-party SQL packages that are definitely easy to use in all aspects without really writing much code to achieve a simple task such as executing multiple statements, something common in SQL, please leave in the comments. But as far as that, there's also additional resources if you want to look ahead before I go ahead and make the second part of. So with that, we're going to end the video here. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Reach out to us for any help, tips, and suggestions.